When it comes to Naruto and Boruto characters, it can be pretty easy to think that you know everything there is to know about them, especially if you're someone who's watched all three Naruto anime in the franchise, so Naruto, Naruto Shippuden, and Boruto Naruto Next Generations, all 1013 episodes several times over. But the truth is that there's actually quite a bit about these characters that you likely don't know if you're someone who's only consumed Naruto content in the form of the three anime, because not everything was adapted into those anime, or it wasn't even remotely hinted at in the anime. That's why in today's newest edition of the Honest Truth About Naruto Characters video playlist over here on the Naruto Explained YouTube channel, we're going to be taking a look at 15 things about Mitsuki that you likely didn't know unless you are the most hardcore of hardcore Naruto fans, which is saying a lot since as the clone son of Orochimaru, Mitsuki is easily one of the most popular new generation characters that we have in the series. Lastly, if this video can hit 1,000 likes on this video within a week of uploading, I'll make a similar video for Hashirama, and if we make 2,000 likes on this video, I'll make a similar one for Shikiotsuki. So jumping right in at number 1, did you know that Mitsuki's name has a hidden meaning to it that will change the way that you view his characters? So here's the thing, Mitsuki's name, when you break it down, the word itself, and look at the root for each of the names, it has a hidden meaning that is bone chilling, and it takes the expression a ninja must see through deception to a whole different level. So Mitsuki's name, when you break it down, it translates into the MI meaning snake and the TSUKI meaning ship. This might not seem like a lot to you at first, particularly that first part, because yeah, he's a clone son of Orochimaru, someone who is associated with snakes, but it's that last part of his name that should make your hair stand on edge. So the TSUKI, it can either be translated as ship or it can be translated as vessel. Orochimaru is a person who created the living corpse jutsu, which allows him to take over the body of a person and store away their consciousness in a small corner of his mind. That's not to say that Orochimaru is thinking about using his son as a new host body, but it does make you look at the Boruto anime original scenes, like with him being shown looking through Mitsuki's memories and taking notes about them, or the scientists in the Stone Village getting super annoyed that Orochimaru had a sealing tag on Mitsuki's heart to protect his research from being stolen if someone ever tried to remove Mitsuki's heart. It makes you look at all that and think maybe something is afoot here. It might also explain why he has multiple backup clones of Mitsuki. Now, there's a third translation that you can use, which changes it from ship to vessel to moon, which that is also fitting given Mitsuki's fascination with finding a moon in the form of Boruto, and Naruto series creator Masashi Kishimoto did title the Mitsuki one-shot manga A Path That Is Illuminated in the Moonlight. Number 2, did you know that Mitsuki can perform Kakashi's brand new jutsu Purple Lightning? So as you likely know if you've been a long-time viewer here on the channel, after losing the Sharingan, Kakashi created the Purple Lightning jutsu as a substitute for losing the ability to safely perform the lightning blade, and it took him a year to create Purple Lightning. While we currently have seen Boruto use it in the Two Blue Vortex manga, Mitsuki is actually the first person we see in the new generation use it, because he uses it in the manga version of the Owl fight when fighting to get the upper hand on Owl during the Team 7 versus Owl battle in the Vessel arc of Boruto's manga. Now, if you've only watched the anime, you're probably going, wait a second, Boruto used Purple Lightning in the Chunin exams, and that takes place before the Owl fight. However, here's the thing, Boruto's Purple Lightning scene, number 1, that's anime only, and number 2, it aired after Mitsuki had already performed the Purple Lightning against Owl in the manga, since Mitsuki would use this jutsu in 2017, whereas Boruto wouldn't use it until 2018 in the anime. So number 3, did you know that Mitsuki, on top of being the clone of Orochimaru, also shares more than genetics with his father? So as we cover in the Truth About Orochimaru video, which I'll have in the playlist at the end of this video, Orochimaru's favorite foods, they are eggs, but unlike Orochimaru, who likes to eat his eggs whole, Mitsuki prefers his eggs to be made scrambled. The reason is obviously due to Orochimaru and Mitsuki being inspired by snakes and having such a close connection with snakes from their jutsu, and in the case of Mitsuki, part of his name does mean snake. Number 4, did you know that Mitsuki never actually appeared in the original Naruto manga, unlike a lot of his peers in the Boruto generation? So it's kind of hard to imagine going into the next generation and not talking about Mitsuki, but this is the truth. So when you go to Naruto chapter 700, which has never been adapted into the Naruto Shippuden anime or into the Boruto Naruto Next Generations anime, Naruto chapter 700 is set 14 years after the 4th Ninja War ended. In that chapter, we meet Boruto and Sarada for the first time, with Sarada having a drastically different design than the one that we see in Naruto Gaiden, the 7th Hokage and the Scarlet Spring, better known as the Shin Uchiha arc of Boruto's anime, or the one that Mikio Ikimoto uses in Boruto Naruto Next Generations manga, where she wears wears her skirt. Boruto is making life hell for Naruto in chapter 700, where the 5 Kage summit, the first 5 Kage summit Naruto's done as Hokage. Boruto is painting the Hokage monument while Sarada is spying on Boruto from the shadows. While we saw the new generation of the Ina Shikacho trio, Metal Lee, both of Naruto's kids, and Sarada, Mitsuki was never shown in the manga chapter, which that brings us to the next fact itself. Number 5, did you know that Mitsuki's first manga debut was in Naruto Gaiden, the 7th Hokage in the Scarlet Spring? While Naruto Volume 72 is considered by most fans to be the final volume of the Naruto manga, this manga volume was originally promoted back in 2015 when the chapters were running in Weekly Shonen Jump as a spin-off to help tie in a lot of the loose ends of Naruto's manga, while also setting up the Boruto movie, which would drop a few months later. The chapters themselves are titled Naruto Chapters 700 plus 1, all up to Naruto Chapters 700 plus 10. This would be the first time we see Mitsuki in manga format, and at the time his parentage, it was never disclosed because Kishimoto never revealed it in the manga chapters, and in the physical volume of Naruto Gaiden, the 7th Hokage in the Scarlet Spring, there was no bonus information either outside of Kishimoto's author comment that Sarada was the main character of this story and she was 11 years old during the events of this story. This would be the first time Mitsuki was ever drawn by Masashi Kishimoto, but as you know, Kishimoto would not be the last person to draw Mitsuki in manga format, which that brings me to the next fact itself. Did you know that Mitsuki has been drawn by not just Masashi Kishimoto and his successor Mikio Ikimoto, but he's also been drawn by other mangaka as well for the Naruto series in terms of projects? Well, the first person to draw Mitsuki directly after Masashi Kishimoto, interestingly enough, it was not Mikio Ikimoto, but instead it was Tenji Taira, the mangaka behind the 2 hilarious Naruto gag mangas, Rock Lee and his Ninja Pals, and Sasuke Uchiha, the Sharingan Legend. This was the official manga tie-in to the Boruto movie that ran in Weekly Shonen Jump before the movie was released, and it was a collaboration between both Kishimoto and the mangaka. This one-shot would give us nuggets information like the truth about Konohamaru's parents, which neither of the Naruto anime officially told us who they were. This one shot has the first half drawn by Kishimoto, who runs through the history of the members of Team 7 as well as their parents, and Mitsuki is shown breaking the 4th wall by saying that his fans, they're gonna have to wait just a little bit longer for the Boruto movie to learn who his parents are, because at the time fans were speculating on the fact that he was Toneri's son, and this was Kishimoto poking fun at the mystery surrounding the character. In the Taira section, we see it further elaborated on in terms of Kishimoto poking fun at the mystery of Mitsuki's origin by having Mitsuki stretch his limbs to grab Konohamaru by his ball sack because they're doing the bell test and Mitsuki grabs the wrong set of bells, and this ultimately leads to Boruto asking, was this a case where Mitsuki's father is the future king of the pirates, Monkey D. Luffy, the main character of One Piece, which is drawn by Kishimoto's good friend as well as his self-proclaimed rival, Eiichiro Oda? During this one shot, we see the hilarious scene like with Mitsuki and Boruto tag teaming Konohamaru by Boruto saying he's going to use a Rasengan before he pranks Konohamaru by not using a Rasengan but instead squirting a lemon into Konohamaru's eyes so that Boruto can use a brand new sexy jutsu, which leads to Sarada beating the crap out of Boruto for doing the jutsu and Konohamaru for falling for it. Obviously, this same mangaka would go on to draw Boruto SD, which is also super hilarious and ran in Saikyo Jump, another monthly manga that Shueisha has. So moving on to number 7, did you know that Mitsuki is the second youngest person to have ever mastered Sage Mode? When you think about the fact that Sage Mode has a high difficulty to learn due to the massive chakra reserves that it is stated that are required to learn it, Mitsuki joining the list of people like Jiraiya and Naruto and Hashirama, Hagoromo and Minato as people who can use Sage Mode. It is impressive, but Mitsuki is the youngest person to have ever mastered the power itself. In the one-shot manga that Masashi Kishimoto drew in order to promote the Boruto manga that would be debuting a few months later, Mitsuki was shown as a small child using Sage Mode, with Orochimaru, depending on the translation you use, either saying that Mitsuki has the potential to surpass him or that his Sage Mode hidden power had already surpassed the current power level of Boruto era Orochimaru, which that is insane given how broken Boruto era Orochimaru is. Number 8, did you know that Kishimoto was the one who first provided the official colors for Mitsuki's Sage Mode? So when you go back to 2016, when the Mitsuki one-shot, The Road Eliminated by the Full Moon dropped, we didn't have any real idea of what the color of Mitsuki's Sage Mode chakra was, because obviously it was in black and white at the time, and he didn't even attempt to use in the Boruto Boruto movie, which dropped a year prior to that. Well, in all the build up to the release of Boruto's manga, Masashi Kishimoto would drop a piece of Boruto artwork to hype up the debut of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, in particular the manga, by drawing the members of the new Gen Team 7 together, where in the artwork we'd see Boruto with his Kurama mode and 2 Byakugan eyes, Sarada with her Mangekyo Sharingan, the exact same Mangekyo pattern that you have in chapter 80 of Boruto, and Mitsuki's Sage mode would get its first official colors in that same piece of art, which would be included in the first edition print of Boruto Naruto Next Generations Volume 1, when Volume 1 would go on sale later that year. While you can track down the image online, if you want the pull-out poster, you're gonna have to track down one of those limited edition copies that were in the first 100,000 volumes sold for Boruto Volume 1 when it was first released, assuming of course someone didn't remove the poster itself. Number 9, did you know that in the final Boruto Academy novel titled The Last Day at the Ninja Academy, that Mitsuki's report card that he shared with Orochimaru, it wasn't the most glowing report card out there. So while he got high rankings for things like espionage and survival, getting 4 out of 5 stars on his report card, he got 3 out of 5 stars for evasion and ninjutsu and medical ninjutsu. While we can attribute a lot of that to Orochimaru telling his son to not use his real power to avoid drawing any attention towards him, Mitsuki did get one failing grade that fell well below average, which is he got a 2 out of 5 stars in the area of manners, because Mitsuki in the Academy novels was a bit more of a blunt-mouthed menace than you see in the anime adaptations of these stories. That's right, people, Mitsuki, he didn't just throw hands with people, he also was not above hurting feelings with this blunt commentary. Number 10, did you know that in the Sasuke Shinen Teacher Star People story, which was also not adapted into the Boruto Naruto Next Generations anime, Mitsuki, for the first time that he got brought to Konoha, actually struggled with training. Up until this point in the timeline, there wasn't much of anything he couldn't do. He was a very quick study, but when Sasuke steps up to train the members of Team 7, while Konohamaru recovers from an injury that he sustained on a mission, Sasuke takes one look at this trio of prodigies, realizes they're learning stuff way too quickly, and he decides to make their lives a nightmare by purposely giving them a jutsu that requires extreme levels of chakra control that is so complex that the training not only has to be broken up into multiple stages, just like the Rasengan training, but the complexity of it was also so insane that each of the members of Team 7, they're openly swearing at the difficulty of it because of what Sasuke's putting them through to learn this jutsu. Mitsuki, he took this training to heart, practicing day and night with laser lock focus, so intense he didn't even notice Orochimaru was standing behind him watching the whole thing at night. And when Orochimaru hears that Sasuke is the one giving Mitsuki such a hard time in training, it makes Orochimaru laugh, and he shows up the next day to watch the trio of prodigies struggle with the training that was so hard Boruto outright quits the training, partially because Boruto's annoyed that Sasuke came up with this jutsu while getting help from the ninja tech department, because at this point in time Boruto's still traumatized by getting called out for cheating during the Chunin exam. Number 11, keeping in line with that same story, did you know that while Mitsuki does complete the training for the jutsu that Sasuke was teaching Team 7, there's a huge catch to it. So he can't perform the jutsu alone, not like Sasuke. He has to perform it alongside Sarada, and they have to split the work between the two, and even then they can barely perform the jutsu that Sasuke taught them despite working together, and they can't generate nearly the same amount of destructive force as Sasuke, let alone use it as fast as him, with Sasuke being able to spin the kunai so fast when he used lightning release that it launched as a projectile that shatters a whole mountain cliff easily. In episode 65 of Boruto's anime, we see Sasuke use a version of this when he spins the sword on his foot before launching it at Fuse Momoshiki, but the area of damage is contained because he wasn't showing off like he did for Team 7 in that story in the novel. So number 12, did you know that Mitsuki, despite being the one who has part of their name which means snake, Mitsuki, unlike snakes, absolutely hates eating fish. While he will eat fish, he particularly doesn't like fish or any types of foods that come with creatures that have scales. Number 13, did you know that Mitsuki's favorite hobbies include reading data books, which that makes him my spiritual animal, and he also enjoys playing card games with Boruto. Number 14, did you know that Mitsuki, despite the popularity he has over in the West, Mitsuki has appeared as a playable character in fewer games than Boruto, Sarada, Shizune, and even Kurenai, with the latter two being one of the Naruto characters with the fewest number of appearances in video games as a playable character and not as an NPC. Kurenai has been in 16 Naruto games as a playable character. Boruto's been in 11 games as a playable character. Sarada's been a playable character in 10 Naruto video games. Shizune's been a playable character in 12 video games. Mitsuki, on the other hand, has only been in 8 Naruto related video games, making him one of the characters with the fewest number of appearances in the entire franchise. Number 15 is a bit of a spoiler for the end of Boruto Part 1, which was never animated into the Boruto Naruto Next Generations anime. But did you know that despite what you see in Boruto Naruto Next Generations anime, where Mitsuki was using Sage Mode more than a few times in super serious situations, he doesn't actually use it in the manga until the final arc of Boruto Part 1, where he doesn't use it until the next to last chapter, where he uses this in order to try and kill Boruto due to having his memories of Boruto and Kawaki swap, where he's now under the impression that Boruto is the car cyborg who many believe had killed Naruto, when the cyborg in question was actually Kawaki. If you enjoyed this video, click here for the left for the honest truth about Naruto characters playlist to see more videos like this one, or click over here for more videos from my Anime Explained channel.